Alright, hello there dear YouTubers, my name is King1993 and today I'll be talking about another character within this game of Season 2 which will be Meredith. Okay, so without further ado, let's get started. Now, before rating her, let's see in terms of tier list, where is she gonna fall into? Well, it, let's talk about that later because obviously this is a very interesting character for my case because I have used this character a lot and I know that this character functions very well. But despite this, I still like to use Nobunaga because that is my personal preference. But this character is actually very easy to use. First of all, let's look at her weapon capability. Go for recoil instead of sprint speed. Go for spread control. Go for magazine capacity and go for headshot. So normally I used to say that you should go for stingified damage, but in this case I will definitely say if you are a very good player, like pro player, then going for headshot is a very good idea. Okay, and reload will basically lowers the reloading speed by 1 second. ADS will be good for sniper players, otherwise I would not recommend this. And sprint speed is something that would be better, but it would be a lot more better if you had recoil handling. Okay, now after all of this is done, let's see what is the overall damage output. So first of all, let's look at the accuracy. Okay, now if we look at the accuracy, only 2 bullets went outside, but that is not the case. The case is when I am shooting, I am not moving my mouse as much as I would move my mouse when I am basically using other characters such as uh, this one here called Ming. Like Ming is extremely good, but the only reason why I had to put this character at a lower ranking than S is because she has a problem where her weapon has too much recoil and it takes a lot of time for new players to get adjust to it. But for my case, I have gotten used to it. Okay, so for my case it is different, but for any new people this will be a very good gun. Okay, and another example of this gun will be I'll be shooting these three area 1, 2 and 3. Let's see how much accurate it is. Okay, so this is basically the short range area. Okay, very well. Now let's see. I think I was holding it for a bit, so I'll do this again. Okay, done. Now the last one. Okay, so all of them in my perspective is a lot more easier to do than if I were to use the other character called Ming, because what I'm saying and what I'm doing with my mouse is basically completely different. Because you guys cannot see how I am using my mouse, you guys will get the impression that maybe every character is the same. No, every character is not the same. Some character has a lot more recoil compared to other, and which is why when I say this character is a very good character, I actually mean it, because it is actually a lot more easier to shoot with this character. Okay, now damage was 840. So the overall question is where should this character fall into? Obviously not here, because here is basically a representation of low damage, and this is a representation of the active skill and passive skill and ultimate are not working properly because it's of too much problem. Okay, but for this character, when it comes to this area, the question remains is this means that band her everything is working properly except maybe one thing is not working. But that is not the case with this character. This character's case is she is fine in every spectrum. So because of this reason, I have no other choice but to put this character in this area here, which is why you will always see me put this character here, because all of her active, passive, ultimate, and even uh, what should I call it, the weapon usability is actually very good. Now let's talk about the reason why I'm saying these characters usability is actually very good when it comes to the active skill. So Sandstorm, what does it do? It basically blocks the area. Okay, not blocks, it basically creates a vortex, and within this vortex anyone that goes, they will lose their HP, not armor, HP. So you can basically cause the enemy to take HP damage continuously till there is only 1 HP left. So this is basically how it works. Okay, now this is point number 1. Point number 2 is when you use this, you can definitely see that the enemy's body is glowing red. So what does this mean? It means that their movement speed has gone down. So how much thing is happening here? Obviously she's taking HP, but weapon usability and movement speed are also getting down temporarily. Okay, so this is point number 1. Point number 2 is you can further increase the duration, or you can use a cooldown. That is up to you. For my case, I would increase the duration because it depends on which type of place you are talking about. If you are using for team deathmatch, then this will be default automatically. But if you are using something like escort mission or demolition mission, then it will become critical. In cases of criticality, cooldown is a lot more better if you want this character to survive a lot more longer. So this is gonna be the option for many players who are playing team deathmatch or maybe escort mission. Sorry, not team deathmatch, I mean demolition mission or escort mission. Okay, now what about this zeroth ring? Zeroth ring is basically her passive. Is when she use the ADS mode, if you were to jump, it will automatically create anti-gravity, like it will basically slow down your fall speed. Okay, and this will totally depend on this bar here. The longer this bar stay active, it means that you have enough energy, and if it goes near zero, you'll automatically drop. So careful of that. Now the question remains is, okay, does this thing maneuver properly? Let's see. Yes, you can basically shoot like a drone in this manner. So it is a very good one. Okay, so what can you do if you were to increase this? Obviously you will be able to stay in the air for a longer period of time. Okay, now when it comes to armor, I would definitely go for light armor and signified damage reduction. So that's basically how it goes. Okay, so after all of this is done, the question remains is, what about the ultimate? What happens to the ultimate? So what does she do in her ultimate? So let's see. Before activating all of this, I will first have to deactivate some of them. This one, and yeah, I have deactivated all of them. So let's see what happens if I were to just use the ultimate. So when I use ultimate, okay, it has a short range, so you need to be careful. But when it comes to this active skill here, it has a very long range. See, it can go up to this place here in the sky, and wow, what is the distance? Like the distance is way high, way high. Okay, if I were to shoot it there, it will also get activated there. So in terms of range, I think this character has the furthest range among few of them others, but not Ming. Ming has a limited range, so careful of that. So what happens if I were to use the ultimate? So when I use this character's ultimate, it has a limited range, and what it basically do is create a zone of invisibility, and anyone there, enemy, they will continuously lose HP, not armor, HP, and they will also get sucked up into this middle zone here. And every enemy that are basically within this place will continuously get sucked toward this middle, and basically you will be able to know if anyone is coming near you or not. Okay, just by looking at their shadows, you will be able to understand, yes, someone is coming towards you, and then you will be able to attack them. Okay, so this works properly. The question is, where should you be using this? You should be using this during the last minute where the bomb is getting planted. So you need to be careful where you plant the bomb and use this there. Okay, now what about the awaken skill? The awaken skill makes this even better. Okay, so when it comes to the awaken skill, first of all, what does this one do? Awaken 1. In awaken 1, what happens is, normally if you were to use the active skill only, okay, you will not be able to uh okay, I think two of them got activated. Oh, okay, so okay, okay, What is happening? Okay, first of all, let's look at this. Okay, so what happens if I were to use this? Normally, I would not be able to fly once I have activated it. Okay, but now I can fly in paper mode in this area. So this will apply to my teammates as well. Okay, so this is basically how it goes. Now, what about the awaken skill 2? Awaken skill 2 is causes ricochet. So as you probably saw, I have done one here, another one is ricocheting there. So it used to be like something as a little bit bent. Now it is extremely 90-degree angle. So if I were to do it here, okay, if I were to do it there, it will automatically cause two vortex to form. So I can basically create total 4 vortex using this awaken skill 2. But the question remains is, should I go for awaken skill 2? It is actually not worth it, because this has a certain problem. That is, it compared to this third one, the second one is actually not that great compared to the third one. So what does this third one does? This third one will not only create vortex, rather it used to be invisible for me and for the enemy player as well. But now, compared to before, after the season 2, what happened was, you should be able to not only shoot, you will be able to see where the enemies are, and anyone who enters this field, they will become blindfolded. So from that point of perspective, the overall question remains is this an improvement? Everything is basically a double-edged sword based on how you use them. Because in the previous season, season 1, I was not able to see where the enemies were, and neither the enemy were able to see where I am. Okay, but now I can see where the enemies are, but the enemy will not be able to see me. But I also do not know whether the enemies that are outside of the vortex will also not be able to see me or not. I do not know. So the overall question remains, what happens here? Enemies within the sandstorm have their field of view greatly reduced. Okay, so they are going to be able to see, I guess, maybe a little bit less compared to normally what the enemy are able to see. So as you can probably guess, that when it comes to this character's usability, it is working perfectly. You can aim almost anywhere, the active skill that is. And when it comes to the passive skill is are able to fly properly, and the active skill also blindfold the enemy, and the vortex that she creates can be ricocheted, or you can use the ultimate to block the enemy's total view even for yourself, but when you enter the place, you will be able to know where the enemies are. So from my point of perspective, these characters, everything works very well. Okay, so when it comes to the grenade, however, you can use some other type of method. What are the method you can use? Let's say you go for the smoke bomb. Normally I would recommend frag grenade or windstorm grenade, but in this case I would go for smoke bomb. Okay, so imagine you using a smoke bomb. Okay, so what is gonna happen? So let me give you an example. Let's say you have hidden the bomb, right? You have hidden the bomb in this place and you shoot. Now after this, you just need to hide yourself to make sure that no enemy is scared, no enemies can see you, and if they appear even the slightest, you shoot them. And then you go for the active skill. If you use the active skill in this area here where the bomb actually is, you will be able to see where the enemies are, but the enemy will not be able to see where you are. So as a result, if they were to shoot blindly, you will know their location. So overall, I think this character actually gotten a huge buff just by being able to see what the enemies are while blindfolding them. So also at the same time, when this gets activated, you can also use the smoke grenade to further hide yourself and shoot at the enemy wherever they are coming from. So that's basically a lot of advantage for this character, I think. So this is how you should be using this character. Now after all of this is done, the overall question remains is, okay, what about this character's clothing? Is there any update? Now truth to be told, Automatically what she is wearing is way too much premium material. Okay, uh, this one is less premium, but it is a different pipe. This is another different pipe in season 2. This is alternate, I guess. Even despite alternate, I guess this one and this one, uh, much skin has been shown. uh, I think each of them are different, and I think that is good. Now these are all alternate. Sorry about that. These are all alternate, and I like the default alternate of this one. And the rare one, I think I like this character maybe because of this reason. I like all of the clothing material style as well. And compared to these two, I think they have their own attractiveness. Okay. Now I think this character is actually not human because the ear are basically directly attached to the head. So yeah. So this is overall my conclusion, that if you ever use this character, the overall question is she gonna be easy to use? Yes, she is going to be extremely easy to use, because remember that this tier list is a representation of which character is easier to use, not which character is bad. This character is the hardest to use because her overall damage output is lower and many other things. So this is my conclusion. Now, if you like this video, then please give a like and subscribe and click the bell notification icons to get more of this type of topic on a regular basis. Thank you and see you again next time.